Hey gods and goddesses, let's talk about the total lunar eclipse we have happening on March 14th at 23 degrees Virgo. And also on March 14th, we have the Mercury Retrograde starting in Aries, moving its way into Pisces on March 29th. Okay, and the Mercury retrograde is going to last all the way until April 7th. And then we also have the partial solar eclipse happening on March 29th in the sign of Aries at 9 degrees. Wow, this is March is going to be huge. It's going to be huge for all of us. And I just want to say that when we're having these eclipses, the way that it affects our lives is revealing information to us that has been hidden. Whatever is hiding in the shadows will be brought to light. Truths will be revealed, and unexpected happenings and results will be planted, within our lives. Sudden opportunities, shifts are being brought when we have these eclipses, and also entering into the Mercury retrograde. It says miscommunication. This is communication that kind of just speeds along like endings and things of that nature. Anytime we're in eclipse season, it's definitely a speed along of some type of development, an ending, a closing, a new opportunity, a push forward, a push to the side, or a push back. These eclipses, they really tend to bring whatever it is up into the light. And then when we're talking about having a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse in the beautiful sign of Virgo, this is a powerful moment of like purification, refinement, literally looking and examining our lives through a microscope. Looking at the details. Virgo is very detail oriented and pays attention to what's going on. So there's a lot of that energy going around, releasing what no longer serves you and focusing on your wellness, your service, to the other, whether it's pets and things of that nature. These eclipses, or this eclipse in Virgo, will mark a really significant turning point in your life, because lunar eclipses are times in our lives where we are asked to let go, and it's very fast and it's very sudden, and it kind of shifts you into a like there's no way around it. If that makes sense, it shifts you into a new direction, and there's no way around a lunar eclipse. And because this is a total lunar eclipse, this is going to be happening in your Virgo sector of your natal chart, and I'm going to explain how this is going to be affecting your sign. But whenever we're having a lunar eclipse, this is more of a harsher time where it's very emotional. Let's just say that. There's a lot of communication that is up in the air, but things are pivoting abruptly. Things are happening abruptly. And it doesn't affect every single one of, of course, look at your degrees and things of that nature. But the lunar eclipse is, well, let me tell you what a lunar eclipse is. A lunar eclipse is when the earth realm passes through between the sun and the moon, and it basically cuts off your communication with yourself, or your communication with your like emotional intelligence, if that makes sense. And because Mercury is a ruler of Virgo, there is a lot of miscommunication on the day of March 14th, even 3 days before, 3 days after, but really up to 6 months. There's a lot of, abrupt decision making, a lot of, abrupt happenings, whether it has to do with health, whether it has to do with wellness, the partner having to take care of someone. There is a redirection in your journey when it comes to having a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are much more emotional than solar eclipses. I will say that lunar eclipses is the accepting and the surrendering of letting go. And let's just talk a little bit about their solar eclipse. So we're having a solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. Okay, so this is the last one that's going to be on the North Node, because eclipses are when the nodes are having eclipses happen on the nodes. So we're going to have eclipses on Pisces and Virgo, and the upcoming the next 6 months, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is going to be the last one in Aries. If you think back, I think last year, March 20 something or April, there was another solar or lunar eclipse in Aries. But solar eclipses, they mark the time in our life where there is significant transformation. But this brings up new beginnings, it brings up, because it's in a sign of Aries, it brings up more courage, more personal plan making, more independence, more self-assertion. Okay, and a solar eclipse happens when the new moon passes through between the sun and the earth realm, okay, and it blocks the sun or blocks the light, right, or it swallows the light, and it has us temporary, like having a clear moment, a light bulb moment, a time of where things are crystal clear in the moment of darkness. Things where times they just, it's like you have a power outage because the sun is, like I said, is our battery. It is our source of light. It's our source of energy. So it's like everything is shut down to be rebooted again. But there are just crystal clear ideas that come to your mind. It's like you find yourself within the darkness, you find yourself having a more clear mind, more courage, if that makes sense, more independence, striking more independence within your life, more independence in the place that the solar eclipse will be transiting through. And then we also have the Mercury retrograde. And I'm not too happy about this. Let's just say that I'm not too happy about Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Aries and Pisces, because we also have Venus, that is going to be in the retro, and that is going to be in her retrograde phase in Aries and Pisces as well. So there's a lot of miscommunication, with other people, with business partnerships, within homes, within relationships, within the self. There is a lot of redirection of the soul's journey for the individual, for every individual, who are who are aware that their soul is being redirected during these times of our life, especially when Mercury is in retrograde. There's a lot of miscommunication, and this is the time where you want to not really make these sound decisions. You want to think before you make decisions, this, because Mercury is our influence on our communication. It's an influence on our health, our mental health, our pets, and things of that nature. Your pets may need your help. This is really a time for introspection. I'll just say that when Mercury is in retrograde and all of these planets, Venus is in retrograde, and then Mercury is going to be in retrograde, and then we're also going to have a solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. And so there is a focus on transformation, but it is, how do you speak to yourself? What are you doing when it comes to the way that you view yourself, your health, your wellness? There is a lot of new beginnings and transformations that are going to be significant for the individual or for this area of your life that I'm going to go over. And I'm going to put together the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse and throw in the Mercury retrograde, because they're all happening at the same time and they're all work together. They all are one, it's all one. Well, I won't say it's all one story, but it is all working in the story that is happening in your reality, in your universe. And I just want to say, just be cautious with the communication, during this time. Use the time to reflect on your personal goals, yourself. You use the time to reflect on yourself, the things that you tell yourself. This is just an ideal time to be more self-sufficient, but when it comes to the communication that you're having with yourself, okay, and your personal identity, your self-expression, okay, life will change, significant life like life directions will change for the individual in the area of their life that the eclipses are happening in, or the Mercury retrogrades are happening in. However, like I said, solar eclipse, lunar eclipses, or any type of eclipse season are just a redirection of your soul. Things that happen are meant to happen. If they happen, they were meant to happen. And especially with the eclipses that are going to be in Pisces and Virgo, it's really going to teach you that everything happens just as it's supposed to. So let's get started. Hey Aries, so Aries, you're going to be experiencing the lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your natal sixth house. And the sixth house is about our environment, our daily routines, and our well-being. So you're going to be urged to reassess your life habits, your lifestyle habits, what you put in your mouth, what you put in your head, what do you do on a day-to-day basis, your work-life balance, what is it? You know what I'm saying? You may shift your career paths and move it to something more purposeful, more meaningful, because, Virgo is a sign of doing things that are of purpose, that is of value, that means something. It is about embracing this higher efficiency, about your work ethic, and doing what you love to do will feel more purposeful for you, Aries. Okay. And sometimes, because when we have solar eclipses or lunar eclipses or any eclipse within our sixth house, because it's a house of health, there can be health matters that need your attention, health matters that come to focus. Maybe you need to take better care of yourself. Your diet changes. Maybe you have a checkup or something like that. Maybe your pet needs to have a checkup. This is also about handling these responsibilities, or letting go of responsibilities that just feel like responsibilities and they don't have any purpose and value. You have to let them go so you can adopt more like healthier routines, more healthier habits, and ones that push you to like adopt a healthier lifestyle, Aries. Okay. And so time management is what you need to focus on. What do you put your time into? What do you do every day? Make sure the first thing that you do is go to the gym. First thing that you do when you wake up, it's do something for yourself, Aries. Okay. And things that you should let go of, I want to say, is overextending yourself, or you will be letting go of. Overextending yourself, getting out of work environments that do not serve your highest good, or the vibration in this work environment is constantly draining, draining, draining. It's time for you to focus on your wellness and your service, in your servitude to the next person. Okay. And then we're also going to be having the solar eclipse, right? The solar eclipse is going to be happening on the 29th for you. And the solar eclipse is going to be in your first house, Aries, okay? This is a partial solar eclipse. In your first house, this is going to be you marking a new, well, the first house is like your personal brand, right? So it's like you marking a new outlook on life. Your personal identity, gets an upgrade, or gets a look at the way that you express yourself. You start thinking about how you can change it. The solar eclipse is the soul's redirection. And so there can be a surge of confidence that comes to you, a surge of like, how Aries are used to feeling, that surge of doing and being, and independence and confidence and courageous can come to you. It's like prompting you to initiate new directions in life, like new projects, new ideas, just making these significant life changes. But remember that we're going to be having the Mercury retrograde in your sign. So definitely be cautious when it comes to your decision making. This is an ideal time for self-reflection and redirecting your personal goals, or reassessing your personal goal, Aries, because it's great to feel that surge of energy with the solar eclipse, but that is the initiation that is trying to get you to understand, like, you can initiate a different life experience. You can initiate a different life purpose, one that's more meaningful to you, through your own sense of courageousness, right? Through your own sense of courage. And this is normal, for Aries rising to feel courageous. But with Chiron in your sign, Chiron has been in Aries since 2018, 2019. It's been a long time. And it's kind of been testing the will of the Aries, because the first house is the house of the will, and then we have the Mercury retrograde happening as well. So it's like the communication is off, everything just seems very off, but you have a burst of energy to start and initiate something. Start writing things down, and start doing your affirmation, because you're having a lunar eclipse in the sixth house, and you just want to remind yourself that you are on the right path, Aries, and that everything will not happen at the drop of a dime, but they will happen. And use this time, especially going into your your season. The sun is going to be in Aries, like things are going to be looking up for you. But when it comes to yourself, your personal brand, your personal outlook, reassess yourself. Okay, that's all I have for you, Aries. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please. If you found this video useful or helpful, please try to send it to someone else, and maybe they can find it useful or helpful as well. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later, Aries. Bye. Hey, Taurus. So, Taurus, the lunar eclipse is going to be happening in your fifth house of creativity, romance, children, your self-expression. Your life, your passions, or your romantic life, your creative pursuits are under a Virgonian microscope. You know that Virgo pays attention to detail. They're very detail oriented. Paying attention to what's going around them. They want to emit some type of control or emphasize the like emphasizing like a higher efficiency. Like if you're going to do something, you need to do it at your greatest potential. And so that's Virgo. And so when I'm explaining that within the fifth house, that's very difficult, okay? Because this is a house of creativity, and sometimes we have to express ourselves without the fear of judgment. And so this is going to be requiring you to make a decision about your future, about children, about things that you want in life, your relationship, your projects. What do you want in life? You know, think to yourself, has it been stifling your creative energy? You know, these eclipses really demand you to have more of a authentic self-expression without the fear of judgment. And a lot of Taurus rising, some will experience shifts within their love life, within wanting to have children for themselves, or within the children that they currently have, within their relationships, pursuits. They may choose to do something different with themselves, releasing what no longer serves them. The key theme here is to have authentic self-expression, Taurus. You know, finding the joy within your own expression, again, your own voice, having some sense of creative fulfillment. You know, things that you should let go of. It's like this fear of being seen, or the fear of being judged for what you have to say, for the things that you have to offer to the world. As I always like to say, whatever you offer is the offer. Whatever you give to the world is what you're giving to the world. No one should expect more or less, or anything of that nature. We are truly energetic beings. And if you are a creator, and if you like to create something, this is the perfect time for you to let go of the relationships, the uninspiring creative projects that you have going on. Anything that does not inspire you, let go of it right now, Taurus, because it can only do you good in the long run. Okay, because you know the fifth house, it's about our creativity. And if we have creative blocks, and if we have you know, these fears about our own ability to express ourselves, it's very difficult to like be heard, you know, if that makes sense. Because if you don't know what you want, if you're not even willing to play the game of life, you will just be handed decks that you don't want, if that makes sense, that don't support your authentic self expression. Oh my goodness, that don't support your authentic self-expression, that don't support who you are on the inside. It doesn't support your heart. It doesn't support you as wanting to serve something that is meaningful as well, Taurus. Okay. And then we also have the solar eclipse happening this month, and this is going to be happening in your 12th house in Aries, the solar eclipse. And the solar eclipse is going to be activating your 12th house of like introspection, you know, of your inner universe. And this is going to be the universe jerking you to to address your psychological patterns, to have more conversations with your inner world, or your inner universe, you know, its patterns, its likes, its wants. This is a very favorable time for spiritual growth, spiritual development, releasing past burdens, past traumas, or releasing things that are in the past, you know, because the 12th house is the house of the past, you know. And Aries can bring up these sudden memories, or just seeing yourself in the image that other people have put inside of your mind. And Taurus, you are moving into a more, well, we know that the Mercury retrograde is going to go in there as well. So there can be like, you know, exes that come back into your life that remind you of the things that they have said and things that they have done. And towards, you're moving into a more aligned path for you. And I want you to start letting the things go that, you know, do not serve your mind, if that makes sense. Do not serve your highest mind, that do not serve your self-worth. You know what I'm saying? Just be mindful of what you say. Be mindful of the things that you let people say around you, you know, in group settings. Sometimes there will be misunderstandings. I won't say sometimes. During the Mercury retrograde, there will be misunderstandings in communication. You know, this is a time where you can reconnect with old friends, old lovers, reflect on the people that you do hang out with, your friendships, your circles, your new hopes, your new dreams. You can be reflecting on this as well, Taurus. However, with the Mercury retrograde, as I always like to say, releasing the past burdens will only do you good. It's like when things re-enter our life, we think, it's okay. Like, yeah, they're re-entering our life, but sometimes it's just the universe testing you to see if you would take something like that back. Taurus, don't. With all of these retrogrades, I won't say all these retrograde, with Mercury being in retrograde, with Venus being in retrograde, this would not be the time to take someone back or take an ex back or to look even in the back. It's time for you to look forward, Taurus. So that's all I have for you, Taurus. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe, please. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found this video useful, can you please send it to someone else and they may find it useful as well. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you, Taurus. Bye. Hey Gemini, you have the lunar eclipse in Virgo happening in your natal fourth house, or transiting through your natal fourth house. And the fourth house is a house of home, family, our parents, and our emotional landscape foundation. And this eclipse is going to bring up this deep revelation that has to do with your home, that's related to your family, a sense of belonging, a sense of security. Um, there can be a sudden move, a change in your living environments, or a shift in your family dynamics that can come to the horizon, Gemini. There can be past wounds that come to horizon, past memories of childhood, like neglect, abandonment, uh, like relationships with the parents. They really come into focus and they resurface for the only for your betterment, Gemini, for the idea of healing, right? And if you've been neglecting yourself, neglecting these emotions that you have, because the fourth house is these deep emotions that we carry throughout life. It's the most vital point of our charts because it goes with us everywhere. And if you are unable and unwilling to heal the trauma, you will not see your life very clearly. Okay. And this is going to be a time for you, Gemini. Maybe this is a wake up call to address a more like stable mindset, more stable emotions. When you are addressing them, they become more stable, more approachable, more like you alleviate the pain behind it. You don't feel as adamant about it, if that makes sense. Okay, nurturing your home environment will do you well, Gemini. Thinking about what you want inside your home, thinking about your emotional healings, your personal security, what can bring you this sense of feeling secure emotionally throughout life. There is, because the fourth house is a house of like trauma, it's a house of our ancestors. It's healing up these emotional wounds, and it's in the sign of Virgo. This is a time for you to release unhealthy family patterns, unhealthy family traditions that don't make sense anymore. These patterns of like instability, you not knowing where to live, not knowing where to go, these emotional outbursts and things of that nature, or emotional baggage as well, Gemini, that you carry within your mind, most importantly, because you're also ruled by Mercury as well. And so yeah, so I would say what to release is this sense of this emotional baggage that you have. There could be emotions that come to you, and then you're also going to have the solar eclipse. This is going to be happening in your 11th house, Gemini, and this is a house of your aspirations, your friends, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and groups. And so there can be this new development or this new social circle. These your group activities, they may change. Your hopes, your wishes, what you want in the future may change because you alter your home life or your experience, and you start to see that maybe there's some healing that needs to be done within your emotional landscape that pushes you forward into your goals and aspirations that you actually want in life. They could become more, you start aligning more to your long-term goals, if they make sense, because the 11th house is the house of our long-term goals and successes and things of that nature. And we also have the Mercury retrograde too, and that's going to be happening in your 11th and 12th house. And that is revisiting what do you want out of life? Like your long-term dreams, your long-term goals, like just communicating them with a sense of clarity, or trying to clarify them. But when Mercury is in retrograde, it's very hard to have clarity. Mercury is your ruler, Gemini, and it's important for you to avoid making hasty decisions, but avoid trying to initiate new projects, new hopes, new dreams, new wishes, and start just re-examining what you actually want out of life, what you actually want to bring into your world long term. Because the 10th house is like our success as well, and our aspirations and goals and our respect in this world. So it's asking you, the universe is asking you to reassess yourself. The cosmic alignments, like the planetary alignments, Gemini, are asking you to reassess yourself during this time. Reassess your long-term goals and what you want out of life based on the things that you want. But you have to address your emotional landscapes as well. You have to address your early life, your early childhood, or even because the 4th house is our emotional landscape throughout life. So how is that developing? You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, and I believe that that's all I have for you, Gemini. Yeah, we have your planetary ruler Mercury going in retrograde, so we know that what you say will not always be received well, and Mercury's ruling over your 4th house and your 1st house. So your 1st and your 4th house. And like I said, it's a lot of family entanglement, I will say, in the month of March, but it's trying to get you to push your whole brand forward, which is you developing on your identity, your personal brand as a self. You have to develop on yourself, but sometimes it comes from what we have been through in life, or early development, or emotional body must be addressed. And especially with the lunar eclipse, yes, it will definitely be an emotional release for you, Gemini, but I'm so happy because it's going to push you forward into the life experience that you actually want. So that's all I have for you, Gemini. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found this video useful, please send it to someone else. Maybe they can find it useful as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Gemini. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya. Hey Cancer, so you're going to be experiencing a 3rd house activation. So the lunar eclipse is going to be going through your 3rd house in Virgo, and this is the house of communication, learning, and it's also ruled by Mercury as well originally. So when it comes to signing documents, when it comes to traveling, there could be a big decision that comes up, like a huge major life decision that can change your mind, the way that you process information, the way that you express yourself. I will say that when it comes to like signing a contract, Cancer, definitely wait till Mercury goes out of retrograde on April 7th, or a little bit after April 7th. That way you're really, you're focused on having a clear mind, because when Mercury is in retrograde, your mind can be a little bit, at the negative self-talk. Miscommunication can be, brought up a lot. And, you just spend some time focusing on like if things are not clear, because the eclipse is going to get you to redefine your mind, redefine the way that you're expressing yourself, the way that you voice your opinions, right? No more superficial conversations. There's you experience a change with your neighbors, your siblings, the people that are in your immediate environment. The communication can be very unclear, and it's really important for you to focus on having that clear mind, or clarity of the mind. That way you can promote intellectual growth, community shifts, because Mercury is ruling over your 3rd house, Cancer, and it's also ruling over your 12th house. There's a lot of miscommunication that can happen. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of subconscious things that you can pick up too. So just use this time to examine your own mental formulas, examine the way that you process and say information to the next person and the people that are around you, okay? And let go of the negative self-talk. And so the solar eclipse is going to be impacting your 12th house. And this brings a focus to like your public image, your career, your aspirations in this life. And The opportunities for advancements can definitely come, because this is a solar eclipse of new beginnings, new opportunities. A change in your profession can also happen as well. Because Aries is up there, there can be you wanting to now initiate some type of new approach to something, or this new career path. You are trying to be the boss, right, Cancer? You're trying to be the leader of whatever you're trying to create. And because they're going to have Mercury and retrograde in your 10th and ninth house, this gets you to reassess your goals as well. I will say that this is a time to reassess your goals, reassess your education, where you want to go in life, your career. If you know the father, any legal documents, travel plans, when it comes to signing something, when it comes to making these big decisions on your life path, your travel plans, your education, reassess, get a second opinion, get someone else to look at it. Okay, because Mercury retrograde and solar eclipses is it's a lot of miscommunication, and you know your mind is already ruled by Mercury, and so you know you're not seeing things for what it actually is. That makes sense. Okay, and so that's all I have for you, Cancer. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys on the next video. If this video was useful, helpful in any way, please send it to someone else. Maybe they can find it useful as well. I'll see you later, Cancer. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Leo. So, Leo, you have a second house activation in the sign of Virgo. The lunar eclipse is going to be transiting or activating your second house of finances, of self worth, of values, of your natural skills, of nature. You know, the second house is our natural talents, right? But it's also like our money exchange as well. And having a lunar eclipse in here in the second house, this brings a focus to your financial world, Virgo. I mean, Leo. Virgo is the sign ruling over your second house. Your sense of self-worth, like it's being reshaped. Your finances are being reshaped. You may have a sudden realization about your spending habits, a sudden realization about your income, your resources, your morals, your values. What is self-worth to you, Leo? Your financial stability. It's like you're getting clarity over these things, or you're releasing things that do not aid in getting clarity over these like initiations within your life, or these like you are evaluating things. You know, as I like to say, Virgo looks at things with a microscope, and so you could be looking at your finances, how you're spending, with a microscope. And also, maybe because this is a house of our natural skills, you could be, you know, thinking about your undeveloped or your unvalued natural skills. You know, maybe you settle for less. Maybe like this eclipse forces you or demands you to get yourself to reassess your own sense of value. How do you value yourself? However you value yourself, Leo, other people are going to value this way. And I feel like some Leo risings can experience unexpected, you know, financial shifts, whether it is gains or whether it's cutbacks, whether it's saving or whether it's like investing into something, whether it's learning something new, whether it's releasing some bill that no longer serves you, or releasing something that does not assist with your with increasing or with value, with actually brings value to you. Second house, this is trying to get you to, in Virgo, bring value and bring like a sense of purpose for whatever you do in your life, and especially to your own self-worth, right? And so, Leo, this can be a time where you want to invoke financial independence. You want to invoke a sense of self-value. You know, what are you worth? What are your skills worth? And seeing if you settle for less, you know, reassessing your your resources, you know, because this has a resources in possession. So reassessing those and releasing that scarcity mindset, releasing the undervaluing yourself, unnecessary expenses, things that don't make sense. You know, as I said, just paying for memberships that you're not using is not good, Leo. And so when we're moving on to the solar eclipse, right, in Leo, solar eclipse for you, Leo rising, it's going to be happening in your and another a fire sign, which is Aries. And this is going to be activating your ninth house of travel and pursuing your higher education. And also, this is the house of philosophical studies, environments, and, traveling, right? And so this is time for you to embrace a new perspective that broadens your horizons, Leo. Because a solar eclipse brings these new developments, fast-paced developments, there could be a new development on your education, maybe a new class, maybe a new certificate that you want to get. Maybe these things become more broadened for you to expand your horizons. Maybe you get something, you go back to school and you get something that you didn't have before. Maybe you go traveling and you gain something spiritually that activates your dharma, right? But I do want to say there is also going to be a Mercury retrograde. So reviewing those documents, reviewing those shared resources, because this is going to be happening in your ninth and your 10th house, reviewing those educational plans, reviewing any type of significant plans when it comes to traveling, your education, and shared resources as well. This can be like you having to introspect on your personal transformation, or your personal transformation when it comes to like the mind and developing on your own belief systems. I will say be cautious when it comes to your shared resources, because Mercury is going to flip from Aries into Pisces in the month of March. So be careful, on the sense of shared resources, but your intimacy, your values, and things of that nature, things that you're saying, and use this time to develop on your mindset, your scarcity mindset, your personal introspection. How do you approach yourself to, finances, or these philosophical pursuits? And so that's all I have for you, Leo. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please. If you found this video useful, please try to send it to someone else. Maybe they can find it useful or helpful as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video, Leo. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Hey, Virgo. I just want to say you are the star. I just want to say, like, Virgo is probably going to be the star of this year and the next year. Virgo placements, but Virgo rising, you have a first house activation. And remember that you have the South Node in your sign as well. And the South Node has to do with karma from the last lifetime. It has to do with spiritual development, spiritual insights. Everything is more like of synchronicity. That makes sense for the Virgo rising. Things seem to be more in sync. Even the chaos is meant, or illnesses, like they come up and they're meant for some type of purpose. Even when things are chaotic and bad, for the Virgo rising, they will start to see that it's still happening in their best purpose and their best interest, as their journey unfolds more for them, right? They're letting go of having things under a microscope, or you, Virgo, letting go of micro managing everything, even your own life and other people's lives around you, and letting things flow more. So you have a first house activation, Virgo. I'm so happy. This is the house of your identity, your personal growth, and your life path. The reason why I'm so happy, because this is a full circle moment for you. This is a very pivoting time for you, Virgo. The lunar eclipse, because it is a total lunar eclipse at 23 degrees. So if you have 23 degrees, any other earth signs, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, you will be experiencing or if you have the degrees of, I would say from 20 to 29 degrees, 20 to 29 degrees, Virgo or Capricorn, and Taurus, you're gonna feel it the most. And this is you shedding those old identities, Virgo, that do not serve you anymore. And I don't know if you were doing it before, Virgo, but you're definitely going to be doing it now. I don't know if you were really expressing your authentic self before, but you're really going to be expressing your authentic self now. It's like you're stepping into a more defined, a more refined and defined authentic expression of who you are as a person. And you can undergo a lot of physical transformations, because as I said, you also have the South Node in there as well. So there can be a change in the way that you style yourself, the way that you develop. Your whole psychological mind is going to be different. It's changing, it's shifting. Your career is changing, your career is pivoting, your lifestyle is just changing. A lot of things are happening for the Virgo placements or the Virgo area of our life that are really significant. But Virgo risings, for you, it is all about you. It is all about your identity, your confidence, and your personal power. The first house is the house of your personal power. It is your self brand. Okay, maybe you need to, reinvent yourself and the way that you want to express yourself authentically through to this world, but release the tendencies of self-doubt, Virgo. There are going to be so many personal breakthroughs for you, and I'm so happy for you, Virgo, because Virgo is a sign of purity. It is a sign of wellness, giving, and it is truly the sign of like discernment, right? And the Virgo risings truly just want to feel like they have a purpose, and especially the Virgo placements, they want to feel like they have a purpose. And so this is just this major shift in the power that you hold, Virgo. Your authentic living area as well, authentic living space. Releasing these people pleasing tendencies. Now those are going out of the window. People pleasing, no thank you. Because Virgo is a healer. Virgo is a healer. Virgo is the mental, Virgo is the medicine man, the medicine woman. They'll listen. They're the therapists. They're not doing this, anymore. Especially if it's outdated. They're releasing these outdated self-images. They're releasing these outdated approaches to solve certain issues. You know what I'm saying? They're now starting to adopt a more holistic way of viewing themselves and viewing their journey in the world. Okay? And this is such a powerful time for Virgo. I'm so happy. And so Virgo, you're going to be having the solar eclipse with activating your natal 8th house. And also the Mercury retrograde. And so the solar eclipse is going to be in your 8th house, and it's going to focus on your finances, your intimacy, your shared resources, and your psychological mind and upgrades. What's underneath the surface, it's the house of transformation. And I will say that if you want to change your life, you need to have a Scorpio moment, because a Scorpio moment, it digs deep and you're changed and you're never the same again. You have this new profound power that is very internal. No one can take away from you. It's pumping through you so drastically that no one can, it's so intense. Like this is the energy of feeling intense, but I do think these transformations are needed. So this is a really potent time for your emotional landscape, Scorpio. Because I'm saying Scorpio because the 8th house is house of Scorpio, but this solar eclipse is going to be happening in Aries. And because Aries is, naturally ruling over your courage and your identity, this is a perfect time for you to be courageous about your emotional world and your emotional landscape, and getting to look at those areas of your life. Whether you have to do self-intimacy practices, whether you have to do financial planning with yourself, or if you're in a partnership, this is really a time to introspect. But there is a focus on shared resources and shared values. And when we have Mercury, dipping in here as well, I will say don't of course you're going to revisit your joint resources, but don't sign anything, whether it has to do with divorce or anything like that. If you can just revisit it after, because there can be a lot of maybe you're not getting what you thought you were getting through a divorce, even when it comes to funeral arrangements, Virgo, just be very cautious on the way, whatever they saying that you're promised to, that it's a real contract, or that it's you're using your discernment. Let's just say that. Okay, communicate openly in partnerships, but avoid signing any contracts. And even if you have to say Mercury's in retrograde, I'm not signing this. I mean, try that, but you just voicing whatever you feel is right, because financial matters can come up to play. This communication in your relationships, when because it's in your 7th and your 8th house, this is the partnership and this is the relationship, and you just want to be mindful. Venus is in retrograde. Venus will be going into retrograde when these eclipses are happening, and it's you just want to make sure that whatever you do plan, you're not just voicing I'm going to leave you and I'm going to take this from you. I'm going to do this. Like, you have to really use your discernment. You have to be mindful, quiet, and observant, use your observant, skills, right? Virgo, and please avoid signing any contracts because Mercury is your ruler, okay? And you just don't want to sign anything, alrighty? And so, yes, I believe that's all I have for you, Virgo. I will say that I love this time for you, Virgo. It's definitely a revealing time for you, but aligning you more to your authentic self expression and the way that you view life and your journey. So that's all I have for you, Virgo. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please. I'll see you guys on the next video. If you found this video useful, helpful in any way, try to send it to someone else, and maybe they can find it useful or helpful in some way as well. Virgo, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and if you can help me do that, please do. Thank you, Virgo. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Hey Libra. So Libra, you are going to be experiencing a lunar eclipse activating your natal 12th house of your subconscious mind, healing and your what's underneath the surface, memories and the past, basically. That is the 12th house. And so this is a time for deep introspection of your inner universe, your inner world. These eclipses are very spiritual in a sense. They're very internal. When I say spiritual, your inner world is changing and it's not going to be the same again, Libra. You are having these insights, these development through dreams, through solitude, through meditation. You are uncovering these hidden truths about yourself, about the world, about knowledge, about dreams, your intuition. Your subconscious is very heightened. Your intuition is heightened. These ideas come to you very fast, very urgent, and very suddenly. And it is in your best interest, Libra, to very much surrender to them. Surrender to your inner healing. Surrender to the spiritual awakening that you will have and that is much needed. And it's really urging you to confront those fears and the self-sabotaging behaviors, the self-sabotaging habits that you may have, Libra. Some Libra risings can experience a release in their emotional baggage. Some can experience these subconscious beliefs that no longer serves them, or they start to now these beliefs comes to their minds and they're able to jot them down and examine them and work to change them. Some Libra risings are going to be releasing these hidden fears that they didn't even know that they have, but it's there and it comes to light, through relationships, through these emotional ties through the next person. Even when it comes to like, leaving a relationships, we are still tied to them spiritually through a cord. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to release ourselves and cut the cord to release ourselves from this unionship. A lot of Libra risings will have to do those things, especially with the lunar eclipse, because the lunar eclipse is very emotional, but it's a very it's a deep well of emotion, but I do think that it's also a deep well of like introspection that can help you um you know become aware of your own patterns and your own belief systems, but in a way that offers compassion, in a way that offers vulnerability, in a way that offers a solution. You know what I'm saying? That's what these eclipses are going to bring, a solution, for you, Libra. And then we also have the solar eclipse. This is activating your seventh house. And so this can bring in significant relationships, significant or revisiting, significant relationships, redefining your relationships. Because this is a house of like partnerships, judges, the system, exes, lovers. This is um trying to bring focus and harmony, I will say, to like you and your partnership, because you're on the other side, right? You're in the first house and you're having you're having a solar eclipse in your seventh house. And it's just like you are trying to bring focus and harmony to your collaborations, but through your own newfound development, if that makes sense. The way that you see yourself is definitely changing. The way that you communicate to yourself is changing. And because like this lunar eclipse brings up this like deep, like this heightened sense of I wouldn't say spirituality, but like emotional healing, this burst of emotional healing. Libra, I will say that it helps you like redefine your relationship to harmony within yourself and in other people. It's like if you find peace within yourself, you can find peace within your other person. If that makes sense, Libra, that's what I'm saying. Like finding peace and harmony and balance within yourself, focus on that so that the collaborations or whoever is outside of you, because this is a house of other people, they may come in, yeah, very significant in their way, bring in new significance, but you already are significant within yourself, Libra, and you already feel that way as well. Because the Mercury retrograde is coming in your seventh and your sixth house, your seventh house of partnership, your sixth house of daily routines and health habits. Clear communication with your partners or people that are existing in your life is very important, very needed, definitely essential. However, it may come off as it may be misdirected, miscommunication will be happening. What you say to yourself, Virgo, I mean, Virgo, I like to say Virgo because it's sixth house, I think Virgo. Libra, whatever you say to yourself, whatever health habits that you have, will definitely be up for reassessment. But I want you to focus on your communication with yourself. Do like affirmations. Focus on being honest, yes, but think before you speak, especially when it comes to, your partnerships and the ones that you do have. Remember that you're trying to bring balance and unity within your partnerships, and it's easier to do that when you find that within your own self, your communication. And because Mercury is the house of the, well, this is a house of Mercury, this is a house of the mind. Your mind and your mental formulas are sometimes in disarray. You're not hearing things or seeing things or talking about things in the way that is best, like that it's efficient, so definitely watch out for that, Libra. And so yeah, that's all I have for you, Libra. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you find this video useful or helpful, please try to send it to someone else that can find it useful or helpful as well. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. If you can help me do that, Libra, I would love that. Thank you so much, Libra. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya. Hey, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, you are going to be having the lunar eclipse activating your 11th house of your goals, community, and groups of people. And your social circles are up for evaluation. They will change. Like, is it an environment of like having these futuristic ideas, or is it an environment of peer pressure, outdated belief systems, superficial connections? We're just connected to each other just because we go to the same church or the same organization. Scorpio, it's time for you to get out of these superficial connections. It's time for you to make a major adjustments, or a major adjustment we make for you through the universe. Don't worry. The universe is like, I got you. But hopefully very subtle adjustment, right? To where your long-term dreams are definitely changed. The people that are around you change. Some friendships may deepen, or some just may whisk away with the wind in the air, because the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipses are really a time in our life where it's redirecting us to our soul's path. And because you're having an 11th house activation, the 11th house is our dreams and wishing goals, our dreams, and this is a futuristic house. It's also a house about like supporting of your vision, and having people who will support your vision around you. And that's very important, Scorpio. If you want to make something in your life, to have people that shape and align to your truest vision. Also having your vision aligned to what's best for humanity, what's best for the world. Now, it's not just what's best for you, but what's best for other people around you. And I don't mean that you will always have to work with groups of people, but I will say that you will start to realize that the people that you do hang out with, you will start to realign yourself to communities that support you, that support your vision, your goals, that support this this new aspiration that you have. Okay. And sometimes you may question yourself along the lines of, oh, I won't say along the lines, these next couple of months you will question your role within this group, and within this, like in this environment. And I do think that this eclipse brings a lot of clarity. You know, like I said, 3 days before, 3 days after, but up to 6 months, you'll definitely have a clear picture to what is actually, you know, going to happen. Like, what is actually going to deepen? What do you actually want out of life? And are these people that surround you, or the environments that you surround yourself with, or the things that you choose to entertain, aligning truly to what matters to you, right? And then we also have the solar eclipse. And the solar eclipse is going to be activating your sixth house of your health, you know, your work environment and your daily routines. This is a house of this ease and medicine and pets. And it's Scorpio. I don't know if you've been doing it before, but now it's really time for you to implement a wellness practice. Implement a practice that surrounds wellness, you know, that surrounds things that are wellness for you, Scorpio risings, right? And so we know that what Scorpio thinks is healing has a lot to do with the psychological mind, has a lot to do with the emotions, you know, healing up the mind, you know, therapy, whether you need to go to therapy, whether you need to just like go for it in for some checkups, some holistic healing, you know, some energetic healing, whatever you need to do, Scorpio, to revitalize your sense of duty, you know, your sense of yeah, your sense of duty, your sense of efficiency when it comes to the workplace. Okay. And then we also have the Mercury retrograde, and the Mercury retrograde in your sixth and fifth house. This is getting you to reassess your details at work, you know, health checkups and things of that nature. Reassess your approaches to your creative environments, your creative, you may have experienced creative blocks, you know, you may experience um, miscommunication with your children, miscommunication with your environment, you know, your cars and stuff of that nature. It's just like your mind is definitely in disarray, Scorpio. Your mind is in disarray about different things, but not in, I wouldn't say in disarray, but it's in a mode where it's constantly reflecting. And it's really beneficial for you to put in a beneficial practice that can help you alleviate these thoughts and these processes. It is temporary, because when Mercury goes into retrograde, it does get us to reassess ourselves and be more attentive towards certain things, but it's like reassessing them, not actually doing them. Yes, doing them, but not putting in more tasks, more responsibility, more things to do. No, whatever you already have going on for yourself, Scorpio, whether it's creative project, whether it's, you know, your wellness practices, enhance it, you know, make it go better, like do better at it, actually do it, Scorpio, if that makes sense, because this is going to really emphasize your health and your work and your daily routines. And we all know, like, what you do on a daily, it makes up your life. And so that's really important for you to you know, analyze that, Scorpio. Analyze your wellness practices, but also analyze the way that you do speak to yourself and who you surround yourself with. Like, are they talking about something, or are they talking about nothing? And you have to reevaluate yourself and redirect yourself into a more aligned path and aligned mindset. So that's all I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found this video useful or helpful, please try to send it to someone else. They may find it useful or helpful as well. And so, yeah, Scorpio, I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Hey, Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, we have the lunar eclipse activating your 10th house. Okay, your lunar eclipse in Virgo activating your 10th house. So, Sagittarius, we already know that you are a natural healer. You are a natural healer. You can be a therapist. You can have whatever is inside of you. Your life path will always push you to the avenues of healing, right? And so, when we have a 10th house activation, and Mercury going into retrograde, this is a turning point of your career, of your life path. You know, there could be promotions, you could be switching jobs, you could be stepping back, you can be just thinking about, your public image. You can get public success, you can get public recognition. You're just thinking a lot about your professional path and questioning a lot about your professional path. And I feel like this eclipse may offer some answers, but it will offer some type of redirection as well. You can have a new role when it comes to leadership, or you can have a new job. You can see, I have to release this job in order to get another job. And when I mean job, I mean career, I mean goals, I mean your goals, your wants, what you want out of life. This is your path. It's your public role. It comes into play. This is you requiring, or having this. Well, the 10th house, yes, definitely requires this greater sense of responsibility. It requires like this um career, evolving in your career. Like, you have to go up. The 10th house is going up in your career. And this can bring a lot of well, I won't say a lot of, for some Sagittarius rising, this can be bring professional recognition. This can bring new leadership responsibilities. This can be a new position. It's definitely time to release the stagnation. When Virgo is so good at something, and Virgo is so good at servicing the world in one way, sometimes they don't understand that they can service the world in many different ways. It's just you putting on the hat, playing that role into the world. But I always say that you have to do things to yourself, for yourself, in order to actually offer it to the next person. But Virgo placements understand that they must heal themselves in order to heal the outside world. And so for you, Sagittarius, you will understand that healing yourself, your approaches, or whatever you need to heal. Because when we're talking about the 10th house, this can be stagnation. And because we have Mercury ruling over your 7th house, and Mercury ruling over your, what else, the 10th house. So yeah, so it can be your approach to different, not feeling useful enough. There can be partnerships that need your evaluation. There's just a lot of evaluation, but your career definitely comes into focus, and your ambitions. It's like it's getting over this fear of being seen, getting over this fear of not being perfect enough in this one area of servicing someone. This idea of these outdated ambitions, that no longer push you in the direction that really gets you going anymore. And so for the solar eclipse, Sagittarius, this is going to be activating your 5th house. This is going to spark your creativity, sparking those new ideas, new romances, your inner child, sparking these ideas that your inner child has for you. Even your activities, you can find new fun activities, playing sports, going out, just doing something competitive. But it doesn't have to be competitive, but just, playing basketball, playing one of those sports. But during this time, this gives you a lot of revelation about your passions, what you want to pursue in life, Sagittarius. And this helps you express yourself in a more authentic way. But the Mercury retrograde, right? Mercury retrograde comes in the 4th house. This is like you reconnecting to those old hobbies. Hey, I love to do this when I was a child. Do it again. This can bring a lot of clarity to a lot of uncertainty within your family dynamics, within your relationships. And this can really help you ensure that your communication is as clear and as efficient and effective as possible. When you're able to reconnect to a part of yourself that has been suppressed, or you feel as though it's been suppressed, or there has been a lot of blocks around it, when it's revisited or open up again, this is time for you to revisit, and you revisit these past memories, and you're now starting to do things that you've done in the past. Your body is moving in the same rhythm as it did when it was doing before. Things open up to you, there are immediate revelations, a lot of aha moments, a lot of things that you become aware of when you're in a center with yourself, because the 5th house is a house of recentering yourself. But Mercury retrograde is going over those things, okay? So it's important for you to pay attention to how you speak to people. And I will say that working out, and I won't say working out, but your past hobby, well, definitely working out, moving the body, but like past hobbies, when it comes to painting, drawing, when we're talking about Aries, though, we are talking about some type of athletics. So just, you know, putting yourself into some type of athletic or I don't want to say combative or some competitive sport, play a basketball, whatever you did when you were younger, revisiting that, it's just going to bring a lot of clarity to your mind so that you're able to communicate what you need to communicate with people around you. That is so important for you, Sagittarius. Okay, just know that if someone is not understanding you, right, that you're trying to pursue something or trying to pursue some type of communicative um um result, or you're trying to just go over something, communicate something, and it's not being received to the next person, or you're not understanding, or things are just not clear, I will say, like, go drop down, do some squats, do some push-ups, and then try to revisit the conversation again. Okay, Sagittarius, I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found this video useful or helpful, please try to send it to someone else that can find it useful or helpful as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, Sagittarius. Bye. See ya. Hey, Capricorn. So Capricorn, you have the lunar eclipse in Virgo transiting your natal ninth house. And the ninth house is the house of travel, belief system, and your worldview and dharma. Also higher education. So the lunar eclipse can be shifting your worldview. Something could be crumbling and getting you to see the world in a whole new different way. This eclipse can push you to learn something new, to travel somewhere, right? Whether it's you questioning the belief that you have held deeply, whether it's you feeling stagnant about your intellectual growth, your spiritual growth. This is a spiritual, or I want to say spiritual, this is a cosmic nudge, because the ninth house is the house of Dharma, it's the house of God, it is the house of Goddess. This is a cosmic nudge for you to expand your horizons, expand your mind, your body, and expand your knowledge, most importantly, and your wisdom. Okay, your wisdom is seen in this house, Capricorn, and your wisdom is going to expand tremendously. If you have felt stagnant, if you have felt within place, you be ready for things to shift for you. There can be you going somewhere that just significantly changed the way that you see your life. There can be you taking up a class, but there also can just be these insights from meditation, from your guide that you get, that really sparks this revelation for you, Capricorn. And this revelation of exploration of that life is the journey, Capricorn. Life is the journey. Life is teaching you. And there is this strides in your personal growth, your intellectual growth, your expanding of your consciousness, Capricorn. It's really a beautiful time, but it does, of course, lunar eclipse doesn't come with these emotions, and so the it can be a very emotional time. But like I said, the ninth house it's such a great house that I don't think it's as emotional as in like you are bearing your soul and you're crying forever. I do think that it's the release that I don't have to feel this way. I don't have to feel stuck and stagnant. I don't have to sit in beliefs. I don't have to sit in anything that is uncomfortable, that is actually not even the discomfort that is going to push forward my growth, right? Mercury is ruling over your ninth house, but Mercury is also ruling over your sixth house. And this is going to give you a boost of your vitality again, not Scorpio, again, Capricorn, okay? Because Capricorn, the lunar eclipse releases these emotional ties that you have with your belief systems. But the sixth house is your day-to-day mental mentality. So it releases a lot on your mental mind, on your emotional mind, your emotional body that is not serving you. And these resistance, if you have any resistance to change, any resistance, to the unknown, any fear of the unknown, it is truly let go with this like silent cry, if that makes sense, Capricorn. It's like you're ready to release the limiting beliefs, that it's almost sad and happy in a way for you, Capricorn. It's like I don't have to sit in fear. I don't have to be in fear of the unknown, especially if it's the unknown and and it's called the unknown. You know what I'm saying? In Capricorn, I know that you have been experienced a lot of revelations throughout your whole life experience. And because, Capricorn is an earthly sign, I do think that it takes a lot of jerking of the soul and a lot of, he and ha ha, or a lot of spiritual insights or spiritual development for Capricorn or other earth signs to um, trust in the purpose of the universe, or trust in the purpose of the God and Goddess that exists within us, other than just like doing and making things happen for themselves. And so the solar eclipse is going to be happening in your fourth house of home and in communication. And, well, I won't say home and communication. I'll say home in your emotional landscape, your fourth house. This is a very vital point. And so this brings attention to the home life, your family matters, your parents, your mother. Your emotional landscape is looked at the not at the expense, but as a space to develop on. You feel a surge of like newness coming on. It's like, you know anything that, because the fourth house is a house of traditions, ancestors, so anything that does not serve the development of the lineage, you don't need anymore. It's like you're considering like renovations, you're considering addressing certain like familiar patterns or familiar relationship or familiar belief system that are not right, and you are revitalizing them for your own journey, Capricorn, if that makes sense. Some Capricorn risings are, and some are developing on the ones that do exist, right? But when the Mercury coming in for retrograde, transiting your natal fourth and your natal third house of communication, and Mercury is that planet of like thought forms, right? It is that planet of our thought processes. It is the mind. And this is a time when you revisit a lot of family discussions. You think about it a lot and how it plays a huge part in your communication and about the way that you feel about certain things, even the way that you feel today. Be cautious when it comes to communication, especially when it comes to writing as well. You can say things and write things that are not ultimately going to bring you forward. They can just be harsh and cold. And though they need to be said, or you feel like Capricorn, they need to be said. I will say that, because the fourth house is our emotional landscape and the third house is our mind, for your own sanity, it is important for you to forgive and let these things go. Write these things out to yourself. And, every morning, Capricorn, or just, I would just say 12 days consecutively, whenever you need to, but every morning, most importantly, write a letter to yourself. 12 minutes, it could be 11 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever number is significant to you. I'll say like 10 is probably significant to Capricorn, or 8. I would spend this time writing whatever is on your mind, your heart, and your soul, and burning it and letting it go, drowning it, burying it. I wouldn't say bury it because roots, they grow. I would say burn it, Capricorn. And that's how you get out all this aggression when it comes to like these discussion with your family members as well, because you want to be careful what you say inside of your home to the people that you live with, Capricorn. Okay, so definitely deal with your own emotional landscapes and develop on those in order to get through this transit. Because Capricorn, as I said, you are changing a lot, and it's this beautiful time, as I said, because you're exploring a lot of things, but you just want to be mindful of the things that you say. Okay, Capricorn, that's all I have for you. Wow, Capricorn, I think you were the longest one. That's all I have for you. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please. Yes, I hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Capricorn. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya. Hey, Aquarius. Aquarius, you are having an 8th house activation. The lunar eclipse in Virgo is going to be transiting your natal 8th house. And so this brings a very profound shift to your emotional landscapes and your financial entanglements with the next person, your shared resources, and your intimacy, because the eighth house is a house of transformation, intimacy, shared resources, debts, inheritances, your emotional bonds and wounds. They are intensified. They are. Lunar eclipse brings a lot of emotional baggage, right? And there can be this need to let go of this financial dependency on the next person. This depending for the other person to make you feel good, Aquarius. It's depending on, the patterns of the next person. Like, you have to let go of the toxic intimacy patterns. The psychological baggage that you hold, Aquarius, needs to be let go of. Like, there needs to be this deep healing that is happening, but can only happen if you are willing to surrender your need of control, because the eighth house is a house of control, right? It's a house of, well, I won't say it's a house of control. Yes, well, Scorpio, yes, is a house of control. But in Virgo, it is this house of wanting things to remain in control. That way you have the order in the mind. You have order. Things are in order that are going on around you. And you don't have to experience these chaotic and crisis situations. And even though, Aquarius, they will experience a lot of chaotic and crisis situations, but they're able to sort it out in their mind, where they can psychologically lock it up, if that makes sense, or they can psychologically put it on a back bender and open it when they're willing to look at it and they're willing to address it. But this time is going to be asking you to deeply surrender, yourself to this control. You cannot have control in your relationships. When it comes to financial reconstructing, there's no control in that as well. You cannot control finances. And when it comes to like this deep intimacy to the next person or intimacy to yourself, it will be so intensified that there will be a lot of crying, a lot of purging, during this time, but only so that you can release these control, tendencies that you have, or these tendencies that you have to remain mentally in control. Sometimes we cannot remain mentally in control. We have to address what needs our deep healing. Even your financial entanglement, they will be up for release as well. And there will be an emotional rebirth happening for you, financial reconstructing, deep intimacy with your own self and your own mind, and how you are intimate with the next person. Because this is the house of merging, right? It's the house of debts and inheritances. Um, there's just a lot of emotions, if that makes sense. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of emotional baggage that comes up. And I just want, you Aquarius to be very, very mindful of this time, because Mercury is a ruler of Virgo. Mercury is going to be going into retrograde, and it's going to be in your third house of communication and your second house of finances. So it's really important for you to be mindful of your financial decisions, your self-worth, double check your travel plans. Where are you going? The cars that you drive in, is seen in the third house. Your mind, Aquarius, you have to really pay attention to where you're letting your mind wander. It must develop, but it must develop in a way where you're welcoming new and heightened. And yes, there are profound changes, and yeah, it is like you cannot keep them in order. Everything happens just as it's supposed to. And with the South Node in there as well, you will start to see that at Aquarius, that everything happens just as it's supposed to. But the K2 loves the eighth house as well. So it's like everything is in alignment for you, but your mind cannot keep in order what the universe's plans that the universe has for you. The plans that the universe has to you, you can't fathom. So stop trying to fathom it, Aquarius, because the more that you do it, the more that your communication seems off. The more you're trying to demand control over things and over people and over the psychological minds of others. And because it's Virgo, it can be very intensified, where it's like, I want to heal you, or I want to heal something within the next person and within the partner as well, to the point where it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Just be mindful of this time too. Okay. And then the solar eclipse, as I said, the solar eclipse is happening in your third house. And so this brings a heightened sense to your communication and your learning, your ability to learn, right? Becomes more enhanced, right? But it also becomes caught into question. What do you want to learn? New opportunities when it comes to finances, when it comes to your education, and when it comes to, I wouldn't say so much finances. I will say that it will be education, right? Or community involvement, like charity work. You must be doing things like that, Aquarius, doing things for free. You have to. This is you increasing in your own dharma. You're really meant to serve humanity, right? But with your ideas, with your development. And so, Aquarius, be mindful, as I said, what arises at this time. Like, what are you involved in at this time? Get involved in charity, helping people that are less fortunate than you, because that's when the world will give it back to you. It is not through the demanding of this through the next person, because that's what the solar eclipse will tell you, because not tell you, but it really is significant in the house, in the third and the second house. And you even have Mercury and Venus going over this as well, because it's really how you are presenting to yourself, how you are delivering these ideas of healing or these ideas of promoting something, you know but because, as I said, Aquarius knows it's going to help you. Aquarius knows these things before you know it. It's very adamant about these things. Like, if you don't do it, you know what I'm saying? But some Aquarius risings will be very, very adamant about this, because it depends on your degree as well. But some will be asked to do a lot of introspection and introspect on their own self-worth, their self-identity, and the things that they portray and things they voice out. Okay. So that's all I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey, Pisces. So, Pisces, we are going to be experiencing the lunar eclipse in Virgo, total lunar eclipse in Virgo, in our natal 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and contracts with other people. The 7th house is the house of other people, exes, business related things, legal matters, and all of these things occur. But most importantly, it is the house of others, other people, right? And there is a major shift when it comes to our partnerships, our relationships, our business endeavors. The lunar eclipse really boils up a point in our lives where it's very emotional, because it's time to really look at the dynamics of partnerships, your relationships, because they may be tested. It's time for you to commit deeper to the relationship, commit deeper to furthering your own personal growth in the relationship. This here is leading you to be more clear about the relationship. And if this is not a relationship, this can be a legal matter. This can be any outside relationship to another person that you love. Really, this is the house of marriage, honestly. So if you have a marriage partner, this is your marriage partner, right? And so we have to focus on deepening these relationships to the next person, or moving on to a different type of relationship or unionship. I will say that it is a time to, if you've been avoiding any if you've been avoiding conversations in your relationship, if you've been avoiding anything in your partnership, anything that must be addressed, this lunar eclipse is going to bring it to light. As I said, lunar eclipse brings in what is done in the light comes to the what is done in the dark comes to the light. You cannot hide anything. Especially when we're having a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, secrets will come out, revelations will be had. The universe will force you to address them. The eclipse will force you to address them. And so during this time, Pisces, we can experience relationship clarity. We can experience balancing out in relationships, because you understand the power that you possess, and the other person understands the power that they possess. So when it comes to your commitments, the commitments may shift. And maybe time for you to reassess your relationship with the next person. But you must definitely be honest about it. Unbalanced relationships, not being able to make your mind up, not being able to, have a beneficial partnership with the next person, that must be released during this eclipse. And, when we're talking about the total lunar eclipse in Virgo, because it's your sister sign, right? We have also the South Node in the seventh house as well. There will be a lot of refinement, a lot of precision when it comes to relationships, releasing what no longer serves our highest good and putting in practical changes that can aid in aligning us with our soul's purpose. And as I said, Virgo is a sign about discernment. It is a sign about using your intuition and making a judgment. Using your mind to make a judgment as well, but one that is, that is promoting the sense of healing and transformation. And so Pisces, in saying all of that, your decisions are your own. You make your own decisions. You make your own revelations. But definitely listen to what the universe is revealing to you and telling you during this time. And then Pisces, the solar eclipse are going to be experiencing in our second house, Aries, of finances and our self-worth. Chiron is actually in that house as well, the second house. And Chiron has been in Aries since 2018. And it's really been hurting our finances and our sense of self-worth, our sense of feeling worthy of making finances because of harsh experiences. When we're talking about Aries, in action, we can talk about not being courageous enough, not having enough independence, and it's really getting you to strike your own financial independence, Pisces. What can you make for yourself, your own personal finances, your values, setting new goals, financial goals that really help you assess your self-worth or your approach to your self-worth. Remember that we're going to be experiencing Mercury retrograde as well in your natal first and your second house. And this gives you, Mercury is a ruler of your seventh house to Pisces and also of your fourth house. And so I will say that, when it comes to communication with the people that are inside of your home or your partnerships, be mindful of the things that you say. It's really important because there's a lot of heat and hot, bothered communication during this time. And people say things that they don't actually mean, or they say things that they do mean, but it takes a toll on the person, right? And so so the Mercury retrograde comes in, shaking up this communication, whether it's fiery, whether it's like, no, I love you unconditionally, and it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, because Mercury is a house of, like, I won't say Mercury and Aries is speaking about itself. I am courageous, I am this, I am that, right? But Mercury in Pisces is speaking in a more mystical and philosophical way. And so it's really important. Yes, use your discernment. I will say avoid making large purchases, and use your discernment when it comes to making large purchases, when it comes to buying things. Reflect on your personal identity, Pisces, and your approach to your self-worth. Reflect on your spending habits, reflect on your saving habits, and just use this time, please, to reflect and be cautious when it comes to your communication and your decision making, Pisces. Okay? So yes, that's all I have for you. And oh yes, Pisces, definitely reflect on your past experiences, because we know that Pisces rules over the past, right? Reflect on your past experiences. Are you bringing them, and are you unconsciously bringing them into your relationships and not letting them go with, a lot of fourth house matters, right? A lot of self-worth tendencies. Like, well, I'd say fourth house matters because when your fourth house is in Gemini right now, right, and you have Jupiter in there, And it's like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? As I said, all these chances play a huge part into different stories within our life, but you're only, one individual. So it plays a huge part in your universe and your makeup, right? And so Jupiter has been teaching Pisces risings, like, where do you want to live? Where do you want to go? But it's also been making you go over your emotional landscape. And so the more that you do that, and the more that you allow yourself to reflect on your personal identity, and if for it to evolve and allowing it to evolve, the better that you will feel when it comes to like this period, Pisces, because we will have an eclipse in your sign as well. So yes, that's all I have for you, Pisces. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Pisces. And if you're also a Pisces rising, I would definitely love for you to comment that down below, or Pisces sun or moon sign. And yeah, Pisces, I'm trying to grow my channel, so if you can help me do that, please hit the subscribe button or send it to someone else, and they may find it useful as well. I'll see you, Pisces. Bye.